little under 3/4 of a mile completed. Idle Talk and Brian Harding with Gidam on the near side. There goes Ungaro, yet to finish out of the frame in 3 previous visits to Doncaster. Runner-up in this race last year. As Idle Talk jumps boldly at that next plain fence. Took a half length out of Gidam. Ungaro on the left, Apollo Creed in the centre. Working across to Out the Black and right against the fence, Noir Vert, and then Gungadoo and Alderburn. The 6th, Ungaro joining Idle Talk and Gidam. Noir Vert, Graham Lee steals a peek across, exchanges a few words with Tom O'Brien on Out the Black. Apollo Creed is alongside that pair under David England, and then Gungadoo and Alderburn. And again, Idle Talk jumps boldly. Ungaro at his quarters, and between the two, Gidam. Range up to the fence, which becomes the last after another circuit. Fence 8 this time in the Coolfun Grimthorpe Chase. Ungaro, Idle Talk and Gidam line abreast and all jumping well ahead of Apollo Creed. Then Out the Black, Noir Vert, couple of lengths Gungadoo, and finally Alderburn. Passing in front of the judge, about to sweep into their next left-handed turn. It takes them onto the water. Idle Talk, winner of 2 of his 21 starts over fences, leading Gidam, who was 4th in this race last year. Apollo Creed has gone up to 3rd. Noir Vert, jockey Graham Lee on the 49 winner mark for the year. Close up, Noir Vert, attended by Out the Black, another Grand National entry in this race. Out the Black is followed by Gungadoo. Alderburn still ridden with restraint. A well-grouped field crossing the water. Gidam, Idle Talk, then close up, Apollo Creed. Ungaro continues to take the scenic route. Out the Black and Noir Vert tracking the leaders at another plain fence. And Out the Black coming to join the leading line there. Still weighted with Gungadoo and Alderburn. No move yet from those two. Another open ditch looming up. And there it's just Out the Black who led from Idle Talk, Apollo Creed. Gidam out in the centre on the extreme left, Ungaro. Down the inner, Noir Vert, then Gungadoo, the purple jacket, and last is Alderburn. Going swiftly on to the 12th, the last in this line of faces that takes them up to the far end of Town Moor. And Idle Talk rejoining Gidam and Out the Black. Noir Vert continues to cut the corners. Close up, Apollo Creed, Ungaro out wide. It's just Idle Talk who led there. Apollo Creed not so good there, pushed along on landing. Gungadoo's creeping a bit closer. Alderburn is still last of the field, but there'll be no more than half a dozen lengths covering them. Alderburn nudged along for a couple of strides coming down the hill. They've got 7 more left to jump in the Grimthorpe. Now it's Noir Vert who comes through against the fence to dispute it with Idle Talk and Gidam. Ungaro pink cap, and then Apollo Creed Out the Black. Gungadoo is trying to poke his nose up the running rail, and Alderburn meanwhile is making headway out wide. Next plain fence then, a line of 4 as they rise. Idle Talk jumping well, Apollo Creed untidy, Gungadoo not the best, being pushed along. Ungaro went a little out to his right. Again, Alderburn is shaken up. And now they go to the final ditch, 6 from home. Noir Vert and Graham Lee narrowly from Idle Talk close up to him. Mistake by Alderburn. He blundered at a similar point on the previous circuit. Leaves him a bit out of his ground. Gungadoo's under pretty firm pressure now from young Harry Skelton. Apollo Creed's being ridden along. And it's Noir Vert and Idle Talk leading, going to 5 out. Tracked by Out the Black jumping up between them. Then Gidam. Ungaro still out wide. Then the pushed along trio of Apollo Creed, Gungadoo and Alderburn. And they swing for home. There are 4 fences left to jump and about 5 furlongs to travel. Idle Talk once more putting it up to Noir Vert, the blue cap. Gidam in the centre. Ungaro on the left. Out the Black snapping at their heels. Then a break to Apollo Creed from Gungadoo and Alderburn. The third last is now looming up. Idle Talk, but here comes Out the Black. Comes there, travelling powerfully. Ungaro on the left. Gidam. Noir Vert on the right. Out the Black jump to the front there from Gidam. Idle Talk. Ungaro continues to jump a little out to his right. Noir Vert one paced. Out the Black then approaching the second last, striking on for home from Gidam. Idle Talk back in 3rd. Out the Black a couple of lengths up on Gidam. They've drawn away from Idle Talk. 1 more fence left to jump in the Grimthorpe. Out the Black and Tom O'Brien. Gidam, Phil Kinsella in behind, throwing out the challenge. Out the Black, ears pricked at the last. A good jump with springs in his heels. Lifted off a couple of lengths ahead of the staying on Gidam. Out the Black, driven out. Gidam, cutting him back. Out the Black needs the line. Gidam is closing. Out the Black, all out from Gidam. Out the Black clings on to win. From Gidam, Idle Talk back in 3rd, then Noir Vert, Ungaro, Apollo Creed, Alderburn, and ultimately Gungadoo was